considered, what if I don't like this game?
Right.
You can sit and talk like, I'm worried, what if I don't like Metal Gear Solid 4? Because they changed so much.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's true. But I kind of, I figured that the main thing that was going to change was going to be the controls. And, of course they're going to answer more questions with this story. It's going to end the entire saga, and that's important. But like, just to have like more controls where you don't have to hold down like 5 buttons to like shoot a gun.
I mean, that's the great, really what it seems like to me is like the controls for the first time really, they said, all right, let's look at what, let's not look at just what old Metal Gear games do. Let's look at what other games do. Let's look at like, Resident Evil 4, Gears of War, other first-person shooters, Western games, and it has those controls.
Like it has things from GRAW, like the fact that when you can press the button and switch to the left and right of your gun, that's GRAW.
Square button, auto aim is on, square button, auto aim is off, and it zooms to like that closer over your shoulder perspective.
Does that seem like weird? I mean, that's square button's pretty good real estate on the controller. Doesn't it seem like maybe they could have done that in the options menu though? Like, I feel like.
But they've simplified it. They've toned down a lot of things are the same button. Like the triangle button is now context-sensitive action. And that replaces a lot of complex combinations you used to have to do in order to like shoot around the corner. It's like that.
As much as they simplified a lot of it, I would definitely not say that the controls are simple.
No, at all. They're refined and they're simplified, but they're still complex compared to some other shooters.
Well, there's depth to them because you can do so much. You can lay down, which also like they kind of fixed how you lay down.
Yeah. Ultimately, the problem if you watch someone who wasn't good at Metal Gear, you would see them just sit down, lay down, be confused, not be able to move, and now
start to crawl on accident, try to get back up and whatever.
Now it has the Sam Fisher crouch walk.
The crouch walk is useful, and when you're on the ground, you can still move, you can still shoot, you can flip over, you can play dead.
Show 4 demo, you have 15 minutes.
Which is crazy.
Oh, we were there for what, an hour and a half? An hour and a half, and I really just felt like at the end, I was starting to learn some of the more complicated things.
There are these combos, they're like timing based, where you like grab the guy, let him go, do this, do that. Like
it's almost like a fighting game. And then there's even parts that are, like the one that from that original Kojima demo, where he's patting down, that's like a DDR little mini game where you're tapping buttons.
You press triangle like when you're pressing the pocket, and that's the pocket you steal. It's ridiculous,
And the thing where you like knock away their weapon, and also the thing where you like fucking grab them, like that's all like different timing things and like letting go and hitting and doing.
But that's the thing is like what's awesome about it is as a player you don't need to worry about that shit. If all you want to do is like knock the guys out or shoot them, like you can do it. But there's all this added depth. It doesn't feel like ultra complex. It's not the same as like when you were holding down 4 buttons in MGS3 to like just shoot from first person.
The big thing that all the haters like the fact that it is now easy and fun to run and shoot enemies.
Now we don't have to worry about the controls anymore, and now the onus is on Kojima to make like the story the good and make other reasons.
We didn't get a lot of story in this demo, and I think that's okay because this is the gameplay demo, and like we spent 50 minutes just getting used to the controls.
And we had almost too much story in the new trailer, I think.
You don't like it, do you?
No. Well, I
Is it the monkey in the diaper? Was that the deal breaker for you?
No, there's no deal breaker.
Never will be.
You haven't changed at all, Snake.
People want to forget, things about the older games. It's like, okay, yeah, there's a monkey in a diaper in this game, but did you forget about the guy who like scents his bombs with perfume and drinks like shit out of a wine glass?
And was on roller skates.
Yeah.
Who's there?
Go away! I'm not done yet!
Stop right there!
No!
Get back here!
what I mean by like too much story is like, you know, Metal Gear Rex, Metal Gear Ray, like facing
That
up,
fight was amazing.
The best part of that trailer.
I hope that's not the last boss. I hope that is not the end of the game.
Right. I hope it's the beginning of the game, personally.
Well, it is funny because they told us like our demo is 15 minutes into the game. So I'm like, well, what are those first 15 minutes? I don't know. You know.
Yeah, but then you clarified. You said first 15 minutes of gameplay, or first 15 minutes like including cutscenes, and he was like, no. There's like way more cutscenes before that.
Right.
I expect that.
It's the frogs.
You know, this is also our first time playing the game and seeing the graphics, and you know, I always expect to be a little disappointed because it's been 2 years since we first saw this, but I wasn't. Like,
No.
I found the level we were in, this Medina level, to be like beautiful, evocative, just like standing still, watching the debris and paper flow by, the clouds of smoke going with the wind.
Not
you know,
one
like,
part of it feels like it's pasted in there. You know, it's no sections are the same, no two buildings look the same. Like,
well,
everything is
and it's
totally
very
detailed.
vertical. There's multi-levels. There's tons of ups and downs, and then you'll be like snaking across balance beams and jumping to this little like ledge, and like a lot of that is like you don't have to do any of it, but it's there.
Right.
And also at the beginning of this level, you know, you're fighting these PMC troops, and they're pretty easy, and you have all these cool guns, so you actually get to play with your cool guns and have fun with that. But then you fight one of those strikers. It's one of the armored personnel carriers, and you can't kill it. You don't have a weapon that you can take it out. So you have to deal with this obstacle and to get around it. You know, there's different ways to do it. And then later in the level, you get more weapons, and then you can take them out. So that's very satisfying.
But that's the thing, is like when we played it, we were, you know, so excited to play with the guns the first time that, you know, we just ran in and started shooting. But like right around the corner is the stealthy way that you can go. So assuming you were like crawling through that area, the striker may not even have seen you.
Wait, and something else that I think is a really good idea that seems like a little thing, but I think is going to turn out to be a big thing is playing dead in the game.
Oh,
because
yeah.
a guy comes around the corner and you have no place to hide. He's going to see you again. You know, your clock is almost ticked down, but he finds you again. Okay, this is kind of like if you can get away and nobody's seeing you, then go play dead, like blend into the ground, and there's a good chance that you can actually get your radar down.
Right, I think that was the most frustrating thing for me in Metal Gear 1 and 2, maybe not so much in 3, but like once you got spotted, you were kind of fucked. And if not
kill everybody.
Only in that, yeah, you either have to kill everyone or you have to wait forever for it to go away.
You know, you don't have the countdown timer. You don't even have radar anymore. Instead, you have the threat circle, which is kind of useful actually. Like I liked it.
Yeah, I like it a lot
It's
better.
a brilliant, like unobtrusive way. It just like
it appears when you need it.
right?
Yeah,
and you can kind of take it or leave it. It's not so like in your face and on top of everything that it ruins the graphics. But it's cool, you know, like little sound waves kind of bump up where the different enemies are in relation to you.
And there are other subtle changes, like just giving you a map. Like, you know, like that's a big deal. Like you have a map at all the time, right? You can come look at your map and see where you're going.
What do you guys think of the stress and psych meters?
Well, they weren't implemented yet in this game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's a cool concept, and I think it's gonna. I like the idea that you get so psyched up in battle that you take half damage and have super accuracy.
Right, but that's only when your stress level goes all the way up, right?
Yeah.
But like, you don't want it to be. It's like you either want it all the way down or all the way up.
Right, like stress is bad, but if you get a ton of it at once, you get what's it called, like a battle high.
Yeah, battle
and then
high.
you're like, you're invulnerable for a little bit, but ultimately it's bad. And if you get knocked out or go to sleep or whatever, it goes back down. You guys got to play with the rumble.
Well, unfortunately the rumble wasn't really working in the demo.
Well, okay, the funny part was, so we were doing the demo, and Ryan Payton, the producer, was like, yeah, what do you think of the DualShock 3? What do you think of the rumble? And I'm like, it's really subtle. And he's like, really? I'm like, it's so subtle as to be imperceptible, because there is a fucking rumble.
I thought it started working later.
And then it did, yeah.
About I tried it and
about half of the demo, I was like, Ryan, oh my god, this rumble's crazy, because, you know, I played all the rumble controllers.
Right.
But, so explosions were happening around me, like, further in the environment, and I could tell tell where they were based on like what part of my controller was rumbling.
Yeah.
And it isn't like the DualShock where you feel weight spinning. It's different. It feels new.
It's new tech. It's totally next gen.
You know, like I think it's better than the Wii Rumble. I think it's slightly better than 360 Rumble. I mean, it's not like a life-changing experience.
What's better Rumble? Like, how does it make better?
What he just said. Like it's
directional. And it doesn't feel like weight spinning in a controller.
Right. It feels like just vibration.
Does the 360 controller feel like weight spinning in a controller to you?
Not as much as DualShock, but
it also doesn't feel directional on the controller. Like think about Rumble in stereo.
Right. And also like the levels of Rumble from very slow to very strong seemed like a broader range than I'm used to in controllers.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the demo, it's like a little chaotic, but near the end, like shit's hitting the fan, things are blowing up, and like you really do feel unsafe, and you feel like you're in a war-torn.
Well, a lot of that is the sound design. The sound design is
really good. I didn't get to talk about this in my preview much, but the 5.1, there's not music throughout, so you'll hear explosions in the distance, you'll hear things, then you hear like music wafting in from behind you sometimes.
All the soldiers are chattering. You know, it's much different than it was in the old Metal Gears, and it reminded me more of even several years back, the Medal of Honor and the Call of Duty games had, when you'd be playing a multiplayer game online, instead of just hearing the action of you and the other people you're playing with, there was this sense of the battlefield. Like the battlefield sounds were always going on around you. And yeah, to hear it all in 5.1 and with just like ultra crisp, ultra clean sound design is just great. It sounds way better than the previous Metal Gears.
So when you get the Mark II, that's exciting, but one thing that's changed is that in the first time we saw that cutscene, it was all about you can drive the Mark II with the 6-axis. No, you can't. In fact, there's almost no 6-axis in this game.
Yeah, I thought it was also, I think before it was like leaning around corners and stuff, it was there, but it's not there
The only thing we had was if you're in a trash bin, you can raise up out of the trash bin with 6-axis. And I bet there will be a few other like tiny instances like that, but...
Well, you know Kojima's going to use it for like a ton of weird shit. I like that they're not going to...
But in terms of core gameplay, not so much.
Like when it's meant to be there, great at it, don't build the game around it.
But the Mark II is fun to drive with just the analog, and shocking people's fun, going stealth is fun. Yeah, he's cool, and you can just bring him up really quickly. He can take a lot of damage, and even if he dies, he'll slowly regenerate.
And I really like the fact that you don't have to drive it back to Snake. You can just like turn it off and you're back to Snake. It's like not too much micromanagement, you know what I mean?
Well, so one of the other things that they announced at the event before the show was that Metal Gear Online, it's actually going to come with Metal Gear Solid 4. It's going to come with like a starter pack.
It's called the starter pack, which is probably, a few maps, a few characters to play as.
Which, it makes you wonder, like, so then do you buy the real game or do you download the full game? But either way, I got way more excited for MGO after playing MGS4 because it's basically almost exactly the same controls. And so those controls work well in a single player game. They're going to work way better in online, and that new trailer for Metal Gear Online showed a lot of the stuff that they showed last in July that's like cool new concepts for like multiplayer MGO, like syncing up with your team and being able to see exactly where they are.
The SOP system, which we finally found out stands for Sons of Patriots.
Yeah, that's right.
Connecting. You can count on me. Got it.
We saw a lot of new environments that aren't even from MGS4. Like the sewer levels, some other levels, and that's encouraging because there's going to be a good variety.
That rooftop level I thought looked amazing.
It was like a huge upgrade of the rooftop level from Subsistence.
But it looks like, it definitely, it looks like the Subsistence rooftop, right?
It does. It's like just a revamped version.
Right, it's the revamped version of that stage.
The one thing I'm really worried about in MGO is like the voices. Like it's the same kind of voices that you've heard in other Metal Gear games. Where it's like, I'm here. What was that noise? Someone shot me.
Grenade! I've got you covered. Got it. Oh! Clear! Awesome. Good work. Sweet. That's the game.
Just get rid of that shit. Just normal voice chat is fine. Like that's all people need.
So after an hour and a half of MGS4, we were all quite impressed, and
I asked
Yeah,
I asked.
You asked.
When's this? You guys, I said, are you gonna make this demo available? And he said, we would love to.
Right. And that's so in my preview, I was like, Kojima Production would like to make this demo available, and I wrote via PSN. And the reason I wrote that is because there hasn't been a demo for PS3 that has not been delivered via PSN.
Right.
Although, I guess if they really wanted to, they could sell this on a disc. I think it's kind of a waste of a disc. So we went back and changed that, and like I'll be surprised if that's how it ends up being, but I guess they have that prerogative. But
and they've done it that is their history. They have always packaged the MGS demo.
Or like with a game though, with the Kojima Productions game. And there is no Kojima Productions game coming out this fall. And I would hope this demo would make it by Christmas. Like it's here, public can play it.
Yeah. Well, what about if it's like they could do lots of different things with it. They could do like a pre-order bonus.
That's true.
And then have it be on PSN later, or
just as long as the general public can play this demo by the end of the year, I think that'll be great.
Yeah, I don't want to have to buy like DDR Hottest Party in order to play.
I heard if you buy Let's Yoga, Let's Pilates, and Beautiful Skincare Self-Management, you might get the demo.
I'd maybe buy them. The demo's good enough that it might actually be
4,500 yen for the demo. Don't give them that idea.
Don't say that.
No.
You have to cut that part out.
Anyway, let's. I kind of want to go play some games now.
Yeah, you didn't even go to the show yesterday, dude.
No, I know.
It's right here. Let's go play some Metal Gear Online. I hear the Japanese people don't know how to play, and they're really easy to kill.
All right. You got my back?
I got your back.
All right then.